Alright guys, I am back and this is my Game of Thrones review, Season 1, Episode 1 review, and this episode is called Winter is Coming. Before I start this review, if you're not a fan of the Game of Thrones, and you probably thought, oh well, if you've probably heard of the Game of Thrones, everybody's heard of the Game of Thrones, but if you're not a fan of the Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones is basically a TV show based on where people are like Vikings, kind of stuff like that. And basically they go on these quests to get like dragon eggs. That's what got in this episode. And they go on these quests, they get food and stuff, and they live in these castles and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. I thought this episode was pretty good. I haven't watched episode 2 yet. I'll probably get that reviewed next week. I will have I'm gonna be doing episode 2 of Game of Thrones probably next week for these once a week and stuff like that. So yeah, next Saturday I will review episode 2. So the episode starts off. This guy, I was trying to get all these actors' names right, but I was trying to get these actors' names right, but I'm trying to get them right. But this guy, who is a Game of Thrones member, he goes into his forest with his horse. Then he sees like this fire, and he goes into his fire. He goes to see he sees like this little camp thingy. Like this little campsite thingy. So he goes into this he sees some smoke. He goes in there, and then he doesn't go in there. He peeks his head over the snow, and he sees these dead bodies. Sees these dead bodies who have killed, who have been killed. So they've just been laid there, and you just see some fire, they just ran the campfire and stuff like that. So yeah, that was kind of cool. I did actually like that. How they did that was pretty good. So then he freaks out. Goes back on his horse. Then he tells the rest of the guys that. Wait a minute, have I missed a page? Oh wait a minute, yeah I am. Oh, then he tells Robb Starr that he saw these guys. He saw these dead bodies. Wait a minute, I think I'm missing something here. I can try it out. Then he tells the guys that then he tells Robb Starr, who is a Game of Thrones group member. He tells him that he saw some dead bodies. He said, I think he said something like leave it. He just said leave it. He said that he should just get out of here. Then Robb Starr and him, they kind of go their own separate ways to get back to the castle. Then the White Walker, which is this walker or something, he's not a White Walker. That's how they called this guy. Well, this thing, I don't know what it was. So the White Walker gets Robb Starr, chops his head off and kills him, so it means he's dead. So then the other guy who was in that that campsite, he's running back. Then he gets back to the castle. Then the guard tells Edward, which is the leader of the Game of Thrones group. He says that one of the group members got killed, and the other group member is getting chased by the White Walkers. Then the group comes out. The group comes out of the castle. Then they see the guy comes back who was in that campsite. He comes back. Then he says. Edward says he's gonna sentence him to his death. So that means he's gonna chop his head off. He's gonna put his head in a piece of wood, and then he's gonna chop his head off. So he says, I'm sorry, I've got to chop your head off. He disappointed the group, so he chops his head off. So that means he got killed. But funny thing is that his son was there. Edward's son was there. Brian was there, which is Edward's son. He saw all this. I don't know why Edward wanted his son to see all this. I mean, this was kind of weird to me. And Edward is awesome because I don't know. Anytime a group member lets him down, he says, "I'm going to cut your head off." I think he's my favourite member so far. But yeah, so they cut it off. Then they go into this. Then they go back into the forest. Then they come across this. I think it was a. What do they call it? A deer herd, which is like a deer or something like that, a dog. Then around the deer hole, which was dead, because they was finding food and stuff for them to eat. So they was gonna get this thing to eat, but they said no, leave it. Then they see these puppies near the dead one, and then Edward says, "We're gonna kill these puppies." And then Brian or something, his son says, "No, we can keep them," and he says, "Well, you can keep them. You're feeding them, and you're burying them if they die." I thought that was pretty funny. Then, this guy tells his brother that they've got to be at the castle for sunset. They've got to go to this town. Then the rest of the Game of Thrones group, they're at this desert. They give this girl dragon eggs because they've been searching for dragon eggs. And then Edward or whatever his name was, Edward's kid comes up this castle, and then he sees this couple in this castle. Then well, he sees them, and then the guy says, "Why would you spying on us?" So what he does, he says, "I'll do what's." Then the guy throws Brian throws him off the castle through the castle window. Then he falls to the ground. That's how the episode ended. So I thought the episode was pretty good. I'm not saying that I'm a big Game of Thrones fan yet, but this was a good episode. I thought this was a good episode. So yeah, and on episode 2, I haven't watched episode 2 yet, but on episode 2 they're probably gonna see if that kid if Brian died. And I don't know who that guy was. Maybe he's the guy who wants to kill the Game of Thrones group. I don't know who he is. So yeah, so that's my review of the Game of Thrones season 1, episode 1. So what do you guys think about this episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching, guys. Brag out.